Hello. Day 70 million of lockdown in the UK. I've resorted to sunglasses. I feel like lockdown's just a continuous hangover without the alcohol because I'm completely teetotal. But I feel like you just like the days are rolling and rolling and rolling. I know we have a lot of Americans and Canadians that watch, and they're very lucky that they're still allowed to roam freely. We're not. Literally nothing is open apart from a supermarket, and I honestly can't look at another grapefruit. So we're BS, in case you don't know, we have a luxury resale shop in Somerset in the UK. Like I said, we're in lockdown, hence. So we're doing handbag reviews, etc. We also do personal hauls. We've done a couple of Bista hauls, Gucci, etc. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, we do also add that to this YouTube channel. However, in between, we slot in reviews and updates from the shop. And what bags and what clothing was available in store to buy. So today we've got a few handbag reviews. I think we might do a comment reaction as well, maybe, because we've had some great ones. And yes, that is us. Austin is behind the camera. We get a lot of comments about how one of us is off the camera, one of us is on the camera, and we sort of conversate over the camera about the pieces. A lot of people don't like that. I feel like if we were both on the we've mentioned this in a video, but if we were both on the camera, it just looks too much, too many people in a small space with bags, and you're meant to be looking at the product, not us, really. So we always talk over the camera, but we're going to try and chill on that today and see if you like it. So if you do like it, then give it a thumbs up, and if you just want us to keep talking, then we'll probably slowly drift back into that anyway, but you know. So today is, you've probably seen by the thumbnail, and if you've got this far, then congratulations, is the Mulberry Gladstone. So a lovely little vintage number today. I get a lot of requests for vintage Mulberry. We've got a lot of Mulberry watchers because Somerset obviously is Mulberry country. More specifically, we're in Shepton Mallet, so that is the birthplace of Mulberry. This is quite, not an early example, because that sounds like... So Mulberry was founded in 1971 by Roger Soule and his mum Joan on the dining room or kitchen table of his Shepton Mallet home. So to say early, this isn't that early. It's probably about late 90s, maybe 2000s. It's very much a doctor's style bag, but I do get a lot of questions about these because one, they're becoming increasingly rarer, and two, it's a very traditional bag. It's very OG English. Do you know what I mean? Like the Gucci Jackie to what Mulberry would be to the Gucci Jackie sort of thing. So I did want to talk about it briefly. I know it's not the most contemporary and the most on point bag, but if you're into vintage and you like to mix up your style, etc., then it's kind of cool to know about vintage pieces. Also, they do tend to have a lower price point. So if you're looking at building your collection, starting with a vintage direction, in order to build money saving wise, it's a good way to sort of go about it. Firstly, we'll discuss the colour. I've only ever seen these bags in shades of brown, tans, beiges, black, maybe an oxblood, like a burgundy, but never in this racing green. So that's a really, really special feature of this bag. If anyone knows Mulberry, and the brief history of Mulberry is that Roger Soule, the founder, was very much into racing, and obviously being quintessentially British, racing green's a real iconic British colour, if you will, especially within the racing and car industries. This one is in a mock croc effect. Mulberry themselves call this Congo. There's many different styles of mock croc that they did in the 90s, etc. They have Kenya, they have Congo. They got many different, there's slight variations, like Kenya goes small to big, I believe, or big to small in its pattern, whereas Congo's more uniform. Now in Mulberry, sort of more recent history, you have PVT, which is printed vegetable tan, which is very similar to this, and then they have deep embossed croc, and now they have shiny croc. So there's many different types of croc, but this around this time, 90s, 80s, it was Congo. Congo was very popular after the Scotch green era, I would say. It was just something different on your normal straight cut leather, if you will. It's got the antique brass hardware, which obviously Mulberry are pretty well known for. They're also pretty well known for having a lot of hardware, really, sort of like their thing. It's got the twist lock opening, and it opens very similar to a doctor's bag, but I'll get onto that in a minute. In the twist lock, you'll see there's quite a large hole. I don't know if you can see that on camera. And it comes with a padlock. Very rarely do you see the matching padlock to the bag. For this age of bag, it's literally wrapped in exactly the same leather as the bag is made in. And then it's got its little fob. Traditionally, the padlock would be in its fob, but obviously the previous owner had taken out because they're quite tricky to pull out of the little fob cover. You've got your serial number, classic Mulberry fob with the tree hanging here. On some bags they're inside, on some bags they're outside. 90s, 80s, that kind of period, they really vary. Some were on the back, some were on the front, some were inside. So it's quite nice to have that little hanging feature. Also, a lot of people take these off and sell them separately. So it's nice to see it in the matching leather to bag combo. Top handles, very standard, your standard top handles in case you want to hold it handheld. It's quite a nice carry. It's I don't know, because it's so structured, it feels like something in your hand, if that makes sense. It feels like you're holding something. Obviously you are holding something, but you know what I mean. This bag is very structured. Like I said, it's very similar to a doctor's bag in style. You can see how much depth and width to the bag that you get. They're quite roomy, considering that they taper up. They come in two different sizes, this Gladstone, this size and a big one. Big ones are pretty cool, to be honest. They look so wrong because they're oversized, like a Piccadilly really with the Bayswater. When you open it up, of course we have the strap. You have a long strap which isn't adjustable. It's made really just to sit on the shoulder, but you can add your own if you wish or feel the need to. Inside is a standard cotton lining. You can see from that you get quite a lot of space inside, which is quite nice. Normally these bags come with a mirror. They come with a compact mirror. The backing would be the same leather as the bag. This one is missing that. I mean, it's not the end of the world, obviously, but like I just said, a lot of people part off bits of the bag if someone's looking for a replacement, or they use it as a key ring or something like that. Inside you've got the classic Mulberry Company label, as I can't really show you, but as opposed to Mulberry. So don't be put off if you're looking at vintage and it says Mulberry Company. That was the original name for the company. And then it went to Mulberry with the tree. I got an itchy nose. Went to Mulberry with the tree. Then it went to Mulberry, just Mulberry, capitalised, all those sorts of things. And obviously now it's full circle back with the sort of a take on the 1970s logo in. There's not a huge amount to say about these. They're a very traditional bag. I mean, Mulberry was very traditional in the 90s. It was made for practicality as opposed to like high fashion. We've had a lot of really interesting comments recently about where we categorize Mulberry in terms of the luxury world, and a lot of ladies don't see it as a luxury company. They see it as sort of like a mid luxury company, like an everyday luxury company, as opposed to like Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Givenchy, But in the beginning, it wasn't intended to be that. It was a high quality, practical brand, much like Holland Cooper, like a traditional British. Yeah, in the beginning, it wasn't meant to be really a high fashion brand. It was more intended to be like a luxury country company. Very British in styling and use. Obviously, the original like trout bags, hunting bags, binocular bags, all for practical country hunting usages, as opposed to what ladies use Mulberry for today. Really, the last maybe 10 years, they've been trying to really boost it into the stratosphere of the high-end luxury market. To be honest, I think they're doing a pretty good job. We'll do an extra video on this if you're interested. but they're a far call away from this kind of bag. But I know there is still a huge market for the vintage pieces, and they're obviously really well made. I find other brands like Gucci, Fendi, for example, Dior, in the 80s and 90s, the quality of the handbags was so poor. Obviously, you still get them and they're wearable, but the leather on these is far superior than the quality of the bags from the same time from higher end brands. But obviously that's a topic for another time. It's really weird just talking with me. Austin.
I'm here.
Horrible people. Maybe get rid of him. Anyway, so yeah, this is the Gladstone, Mulberry Gladstone, probably a 90s, early 90s, late 80s bag in the racing green. We have it for 450, don't quote me, it might be 400, it might be 450. Who knows, look on the website, it's definitely up there. Because of the rarity of the colour, they're just becoming a lot harder to find, but in this colour I've never seen another one. So if you're interested, then do let me know over on Instagram, BS Luxury Lifestyle, and I can give you measurements or whatever you need. If you want to have a look, bsluxurylifestyle.com on the internet. If not, we've also uploaded our full catalogue, well, we are currently uploading our full catalogue to our Depop account, which is just BS Lifestyle. We're just trying to open the market as wide as we can and make it accessible to everyone. Some people like different formats to look at products, or, you know, just marketing wise, so people can see us across the world. So this is the Mulberry Gladstone. If you've got any questions, then let me know in the comments. I'm probably going to bring Austin back next time. Sorry, guys. I'm just too lonely, so you'll just have to keep complaining.
You know what? I was behind the camera the whole time, and that was a great video from Bethany. But to the people which don't appreciate us bantering back and forth, not happening again.
So
it's not.
sad.
Honestly, it was awful.
It was awful.
You were amazing, but do you not feel like there was something missing?
No, I was just like, what am I saying?
So for the people which don't necessarily agree with that, move on.
We're
doing what we do. That's how it works.
We're just not like sit down and like let's talk about every inch of the bag and where you take it on the weekend.
Please go and find other videos. That would be my attitude, and I mean that sincerely. Please go and find other videos because obviously it's not for you. Gladstone.
Mulberry.